Seriously, this is for all you guys out there who have an issue with purpose and women and trying to do both at once. This is how to improve your dating for men, the topic of women, purpose, and finding yourself in between. So there's a lot of talk going on about, personal development. This is a channel based on personal development, and the focus in this video specifically is going to be towards men. It's going to be towards the understanding and the implications that one has with women, with purpose in your life, doing something that's passionate, doing something that feels purposeful to you, and kind of mastering both. And it's really common for the day-to-day guy to have his career and to date too, to have his cake and eat it as well, right? And you really have to master both purpose. You have to master your work ethic, your discipline, what brings joy to what you give back to the world, and women, and your pursuit to women, and creating whether it's a really loving relationship or your dating life, or just getting out there and conquering the women arena, right? So there's this idea that I see all too often in men when I work with men, is that they don't know, or they struggle with both pursuing women and purpose, something that's work oriented and pursuing somebody of an interest. And a lot of the times men kind of get through this issue of not being purposeful, whereas it's a very attractive trait to be a man, to be purposeful, to have direction, because technically you are a ship, and you want to be able to navigate yourself accordingly once you have somebody, or not even just being with somebody. Having a sense of purpose is like the umbrella trait, the umbrella energy power that trickles down into your day-to-day life. And if you can harness that energy, if you understand how impactful purpose is to you, it could be anything. You can do anything that you really gravitate towards. You could be really into fishing. You could be really into bowling. You could be really into helping people. You could be really into achieving or doing something, in an area that you love to specialize in. Somehow you can contribute back to the world. You need to figure this out as a man, because going forward, you're going to be using this energy that you naturally have, that you can naturally exemplify and put out into the world, and use it in the world of dating. And you may ask yourself, how does this relate to anything, Dan? Like, I have a job and I date, and I already do well with dating. There's a certain energy, there's a certain kind of tonality that you have, a different sense of value, a different sense of confidence you get when you're doing something you absolutely love, and you bring that into your personal life. And I'll give you an example. Let's just take an example of a guy named Gerald, right? His name's Gerald in the example. Gerald is unemployed, right? He's collecting unemployment, or he's doing whatever he's doing. He's killing time. He's trying to find a job. He has a girlfriend. Now, this is a real life situation. Now, Gerald has a girlfriend that doesn't really feel, and he can tell by being with her over time, that she doesn't really feel secure with him and where he is right now, because he doesn't have a job. There's no certainty within the direction of the relationship. She's on his ship and he's driving it, but there's no engine or wheels on the ship to go anywhere, right? If you can combine a car and a ship somehow in this metaphor. So the idea is that purpose is what propels your ship. It propels the relationship you're in. It propels your dating life. It gives it a kind of empowering energy to tell a woman, hey, this is what I'm doing with my life. I'm secure in what I'm doing. I have a direction. Not only do I have a direction, but I have a certainty and I have a security with this direction. It could be broad. It could be a range. You could be doing a couple of different things, but at least you are motivated to do something, and you're driven, and you're challenging yourself, and you're growing, and you have your purpose. You have something that perpetuates success, personal and financial success, maybe one of the two. And this is very attractive as a man. This is like one of the embodying energies that we naturally have to give back to the world. And you have to really understand as a guy what purpose means to you, and to really focus on one or the other. See, a lot of men growing up, they grow up to impulsion, and they grow up to, well, I'm gonna dive into the world of women, or I'm gonna dive into the world of purpose, and try and do both at the same time. Now, if you're not a guy who can just naturally do this, you need to set a priority or a standard to what you want to accomplish for yourself, because women shouldn't be the main focus. If they are, it's because you're already established you're looking for this. You've already established yourself financially. You've reached enough checkpoints in your life where you can say to yourself, I'm ready for a committed relationship. Anything before this point is ambiguity on your part and a disservice to you and the girl, right? I'm not saying that you can't be with somebody, if you don't have a job. You can't be with somebody if you don't have a purpose. It's only going to further align yourself and with the girl, or whatever you're doing, if you're dating, if you're in a relationship. This idea that purpose and women coexist. They do. We live in a world where both coexist. To do both at the same time is a challenge. Now, both are in different steps. You got to make sure that your purpose is accounted for, and that you're pursuing your purpose, and that you're never letting go of the focus you have on that purpose. So I'll give you an example. Just say 80% of your time goes to your purpose. Let's just say you're really motivated to do, to help people in a certain way. Never falter on the amount of energy and effort that you give towards this purpose. Now let's just say you meet somebody, you meet a girl. She's great and you want to commit more to her. The moment you start committing more to her, right? Giving her, like, if you do 80% for your purpose, you give 20% for this girl. Now she's going to start taking away more from that effort from your purpose. Or you'll find that there'll be a split. There'll be a 50-50 split after a while. You'll be doing your job. You'll be finding it harder to kind of delegate that time to what you're doing, because most of what this girl is doing is not just taking out physical time out of your day and interest, right? Because it's interest based, right? You want to be interested in somebody that you really want to be with. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but she's taking more of that effort that you're giving to your purpose, and you're giving some of that effort unknowingly to her. So what does this do? It creates that divide, this 50-50. You're now giving her more attention, not just physically in real time, but you're also giving her mental activity. You're giving herself this mental space in this room called your head, right? And she's taking up rent space in your head along with your purpose. So now you have two people living in your head. You have what you're doing with your life and what you want to do, what you want to contribute to the world, and in that own way, and create an income for yourself or whatever. And then you have women. You have a girl taking up space in your head. Now, a lot of what will happen to men is when this happens, either one or two things will happen. The man will notice this and delegate accordingly his purpose, and stay motivated, stay taskful, and relentless, be driven and purposeful to do what he's doing. If you're not purposeful as a guy right now, and you're doing your work or something, you got to find something that motivates you, that keeps this energy of purpose trickling down into your life, right? Because it's going to be the gasoline to your car for your relationship. It just trickles down. That's where this energy comes from. If you don't use purpose as an energy for your relationships, and you use other things, as an example, if you just go off of communication or spending time with this person, or focusing on all the things that really work off of purpose, after a while this will kind of degrade, right? This relationship will degrade, and ambiguity will arise, and you want to just make sure that you are focused on your own self and your purpose, because that's why we're kind of living life anyway. We want to be able to be focused on what moves us and what drives us to what we really like to do. And as far as dating, and as far as being with somebody special, they share a space next to you, but it's separate from you. It's as in, you're never connecting totally to somebody, whereas you're really sharing and helping each other grow and spending time with this person. And that's what really matters most. And if you really are looking for a long-term committed relationship with somebody and you're in the dating world, you really should utilize purpose and something that you're motivated and passionate about as something that really gives you and instills your own value, because that's what it really does. It's really hard to argue with somebody what they're passionate about. It kind of creates its own resiliency. And if you're a confident guy, that's great. But you know what? At the end of the day, what really creates that resiliency is being purposeful about something. This direction that you have, the idea that you could say, this is my boat, this is my direction. I want you, woman X, Y, and Z. I want you on my boat because I really want to, be with you. And then at that point, if you don't want to, you don't like my ship and what it looks like, that's fine, because the ship's sailing regardless, right? And it's the idea, it's the methodology that if you want to coexist with women in this life, you really have to focus on your purpose. And that women, yeah, it's true, like that should be a focus. You should build towards mastering both in your life, but you really should focus on purpose. That's where you're going to get most of your energy. And as long as you're exercising some sort of passion that you're very motivated towards, this is what's really going to give your relationships a different flavor. When you're not very purposeful, when you're with somebody that is not really purposeful, there's kind of like not like a grayness. That it could have flavor, it could have spontaneity, it could have all these different attributes. It could, you can be very lively and very intimate, very sexual, very communicative. You can enjoy your time together, but at the end of the day, what's going to move your relationship to the next level, in a developmental standpoint, is being purposeful, doing something that you love to do, and that's something you're proud of doing, and driving this ship with confidence. Whereas if you're working a job that you really don't like, that's going to be reflected in your relationship. If and we all know, we've all been in these situations where we've been around people that they're always complaining about their job, or they're not happy with where they are. Purpose is the answer to that. Doing something that gives back to the world in your own way is something that you technically would love doing. And as long as you can find something that you really like to do, something that that in your own way caters to your unique kind of individuality to express how to contribute and to give back to the world, that's how you're going to be doing it. And I see men all day in and day out. They don't have purpose. They don't feel the need to explore that, and they rely on the very energy that they can create separate from purpose in these relationships that they have. And what happens over time is they fizzle out, because the main real source of energy is not just the commitment. It's just not what is natural in the relationship, but it's the overall energy as a guy that you have to be purposeful, to have this direction with yourself. And for the girl to really appreciate this energy and to go with you in this process, to go with you on this journey, because you are journeying together. And in a lot of ways, you are leading this journey. You're the ship. I'm not saying anything that you're taking away from equality, but you're fulfilling this role in a masculine kind of way, to say, this is what I'm doing with my life, and I want you to be a part of this. I want you to be a part of my framework, my life, my journey. And it could be the same for women who have a good sense of purpose as well. Is that if you're both feeling purposeful, you're both doing things that you really want to do, that's the idea. It's the idea of life is to really explore your interests and explore your desires. So, to all the people out there who are struggling with relationships, and you don't understand why guys like Gerald are in a really hard place with their girl, or with their woman, or with their wife, with their girlfriend. You have to ask yourself, are you being purposeful? Are you giving enough time to your purpose? Are you unavailable because you're giving so much time to your purpose that you really wish you could give more time to your girl? Or are you giving your girl too much time, where she would really prefer you doing something you really love to do for the future, both of you, and something that you're motivated that will actually bring you in a better place, right? So this is just food for thought. I really felt that I needed to talk about purpose because it's something that needs to be grown within men. It needs to be instilled into the methodology of your everyday life, because purpose is what really drives us. I can wake up and say that I'm doing something. That means something to a guy. To have a direction, to have a sense of clarity and decisiveness. This is all things that come with purpose, and evidently with women. And it's grounded in your dating life. It's grounded in your relationship, because this foundation is more sturdy. It's more grounded that you have something that's also invested. And how purpose is reflected within dating. It's something that you have. Purpose is also technically an asset. And you have to see purpose and yourself not only having an asset that you're proud and confident of, but it gives you a tremendous value. If you're on that date and she asks you what you do X, Y, and Z, you're proud that you help, in the way that you do, or you contribute in the way that you're doing. And this is what you're doing. You're giving yourself, you're building value, and this will show the girl, wow, this guy really knows what he's doing, and this is really interesting. It's different, and it's something that women look for the uniqueness in their men. And at the end of the day, you don't want to date somebody that you've already dated. You want somebody to have a purpose or a mission or a drive. If you're a girl, so when you're a guy and you're dating, you want to be able to utilize purpose in a way that is going to give yourself value in a natural and genuine way. You don't just want to showboat, this is what I do and this is what I do. Girls aren't interested in that. They're not interested in this cockiness right away. You have to translate what you do in a way that just means something, and it means something to you, and it's part of the journey. It's part of the discovery of why it is you do what you do and contribute back to the world. What does that actually mean to you, and understanding the different layers of purpose that you may have in your life. And it's very important that you understand this idea, because when it comes to dating women, you must know your strengths and weaknesses to dating, and you must know a whole bunch of things about yourself. But one of those really important things is purpose. And a part of selling yourself in a genuine way in dating is understanding what you contribute back to the world, and how that just makes you part of who you are, and that kind of ties into your life story. And it just gets the ball rolling to just show this girl who you are, and if she's interested in that. And it just speeds up the process. It escalates the process way quicker. And it's a good thing. It gets the ball rolling in the right direction if you're dating or going on dates with the right person. Things synchronize faster, and she chooses that much quicker if she wants to jump on your boat or not and sail into the sunset with you. So I hope this was a really good video for you guys. If you have any questions about purpose and women and how they both coincide in life with your life, please comment down below. If you have any other additional questions, always comment down below. We have a lot of really cool stuff going on. Please join the Slack chat, our MBTI chat room, and chat room area, where you can talk with other people, part of the community that really appreciate the educational videos that we put out and the different topics. So join Slack chat on the site. We also have a really cool personality development forum also on our website. And please, if you really appreciate our work, you can always contribute and donate and be a patron to our channel and our cause to Patreon, which is there'll be a link somewhere. And if you have any other questions, or you feel that you're not on track with yourself, and you wanted to explore purpose, and you feel like there's a dimension to your relationship or your dating life that you want to explore with a professional, please reach out and submit a form on our website, and we'll get back to you and see if we can get the ball rolling for you in that way. So this has been Dan once again. Thank you for watching the video, and stay tuned within this series. There are plenty of really good videos to come, so stay tuned. Somebody for the first time. This is a very loaded, I feel, question, right? How do you talk to everybody? Can you even do that? There's going to be challenges along the way if you're, one type. And, like for example, if you're an INFP and you're trying to talk to an ESTJ, you're gonna find a lot of issues and obstacles when talking in a different type's language or different type